3, 2, 1. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Click to Close with Travis Halverson and Preston Guyton.
What's up, buddy?
What's up? I did it.
Good job.
I'm proud of me.
How about the bookshelf?
Catherine did a great job.
Yeah, man.
She's like, I'm handy. I can do this stuff.
That's like a hospital.
I know, it's true. It does. She actually fixed the lights, too. Do you notice that? All the lights were backwards before. Now she's like, I flipped them all around. I'm like, good job. I love that. Awesome.
So today we are going to talk about Travis's background.
Ooh.
And why he could talk about closing. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Which, to be fair, though, I've never actually closed a home myself.
What did you do before you got into
I worked at a
as
call
an
center.
ISA? Before that?
Before that,
Yes.
I played video games on Twitch
So
for like 6 years. It was a good time. I loved it.
who are you sponsored by?
I was sponsored by random, I think it was like Control Freaks. So Control Freaks was one of them, but also Miller Lite would send me a lot of alcohol. They sent me a mini fridge.
That was really weird. You're 18 getting Miller Lite.
No, I was 21 at the time. Full disclosure, 21 at the time.
Yeah.
No, and then one of my buddies got Voodoo Ranger. Is that a beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got sponsored by Voodoo Ranger. So like we'd go to like events and like he would just have them just, I guess, cater events really.
So what was the video game?
Oh, I played Halo. I played Destiny. I played a lot of video games, man. I was a geek. I was a nerd. I sat at my desk.
So that is why you're an amazing ISA.
I think it has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I can sit at the desk for like 15 hours a day and not move.
Just feeds you protein balls and
Protein balls. Yep, next door.
And
shout out
protein shakes.
Shout out to the wellness bar, man. They keep us going. Smoothies and protein balls every day.
Oh yeah,
That's all I'm really running off of.
that's it.
Now I think
and
about
caffeine.
it. And caffeine. If I have to get a Red Bull and coffee, then I'll do it. Now I'm going to the gym though. I got to start doing something different.
Yeah,
Like I got to start actually eating food. I can't just eat off Chick-fil-A, which is great because I had Chick-fil-A yesterday. So.
you got to eat meat.
Yeah, no, I got to get healthier on that. But no, I think honestly that's what it comes down to though. I used to sit at a desk for like 15 hours a day. I actually once streamed for 48 hours straight. Didn't sleep, didn't shut off the stream, just played video games for 48 hours straight. It was a bad time. It was a terrible time. Got a lot of money for it though. That was good. But when I'm like, I don't know, I was like 21 years old. It was like I thought that was it. I was like, I've made it. Playing video games for a living. This is it. I'm getting like, I don't know, I think I was getting like $1,200 a month at the time. I was like, this is insane. Nothing's better than this. I was like, oh my gosh. I think my biggest check, I think I had like, what was it? I don't know. I had like over like 1,500 subscribers.
Oh wow,
So that by $5. So I mean, it was like when I'm like 21 years old, I'm like, this is
that's
insane.
good money.
I know. I was like, this is insane. And then I was just
And
like,
then you got sick for a week and lost 500 subscribers.
I did, dude. That was brutal. But the crazy part was like I wanted to do like I never wanted to stop what I was doing. So I always did video games, and I always still was an ISA at the same time. So I still did it together. I would go from being an ISA from like 8 to 5, leave that desk job, and then go back home and play video games from like 6 to midnight, and then I just rinse repeat. So I was always doing two at the same time. But I got really good with the computers though. That's what I think, and allowed me to work on systems and processes, I believe.
So what is the reason? Like I hear you talk about the reason of why you want to be an ISA and why you want to help teams across the country convert, which is a lot of the same reason, I do a lot of the things I do. But can you talk about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, my mom's been in real estate for a long time. She's worked with like an amazing agent out in Idaho Falls. His name is Mike Hicks. He's been in real estate for like, it's got to be like 32 years, 33 years, or it's probably more than that now at this point. I just see real estate agents all the time that they'll sit at home. You know what I mean? They'll sit at not sit at home. They'll sit in their car waiting for like a client to show up, and they'll chase these leads, chase these people like for days. Like they'll call them 10, 15 times and just get ignored. And to me, that just really frustrated me.
Yeah.
Knowing that parents aren't able to go to dinner like with their kids, like knowing that they have to leave dinner early or something like that, it was just so weird to me, because it's like a lot of people, and I know this isn't the best reason for it, but a lot of people get into real estate because they want to give back. Like not give back, but like they want more time in their day, right?
Yeah.
They want to make their own schedule. They want to be able to do the things they love to do. But real estate to me, it's an 8 to 5 until it's not.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
sure.
You got to treat it like that. Like if you're in real estate, like you need to come
It's more
in.
like 8 to
Eight?
10.
8 to 10. Yeah, that's.
I mean, when you're first getting started, right? Like you're right. A lot of people get this false sense that, hey, I could get into real estate. I see my buddies doing it. I'll have more freedom. I could see them on the boat all the time. I see them doing all these things. And a lot of times those people have been in the business for a long time and they're not taking pictures of them stuck at a desk, or they're not taking pictures of them waking up in the morning super early, or
7 p.m. showings in your car.
They're
Oh my
not
gosh.
taking pictures of all those things, and they see this illusion that's, what they think real estate is, and then they get in it and they're like, I'm busier than
Well,
before I got into real estate.
yeah, exactly. Well, whenever I meet with the team, the first thing I ask them is who's ever been in the car late at night waiting for a showing, and then that person doesn't actually show up. Like that's got to be just a terrible feeling, right? Like that's got to be that's awful. Getting ghosted by anybody, you know what I mean? Like it's just a terrible feeling. But just when that's what you're doing for a living, like when you're doing that for a living, and this is how I was going to make money that day, and then that person doesn't show up, and you're counting on them, and then all of a sudden something happens, and the person just buys with a friend, and then they don't tell you for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I feel like agents will just chase these leads down a rabbit hole, and there's people like me or like the DCM program, it's better off in someone else's name. You know what I mean? Being worked by someone else. Agents should only have to work with leads that want to talk to them. Like they shouldn't have to go 15 plus attempts just to get them to say, oh, I've already bought, or I'm not ready yet, or I'm not interested, or anything like that. That's just my thought process behind it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it definitely doesn't mean, hey, as an agent, don't call, don't do those things. But, being able to help teams, especially like a lot of the databases we see are not very. How big was that database yesterday? Won't say who it was, but
1.4 million. That was insane. When I got into that, and I was like, how can Follow Boss allow this many people in there? I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, they actually were on their own server.
Yeah, that's wild.
Because of how much activity comes into that database.
Yeah, see, that's nuts to me. And the crazy part is like I actually even took a call 2 nights ago with a buddy who actually doesn't even do real estate. He does submetering. Do you know what submeters are? Mm-hmm. It's like where you can determine submetering is for like, I guess like duplexes and things like where you can like determine who gets like what electricity, or
yeah.
So he was talking to me, and he's using a system called a CRM called Zoho.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
Yeah, so he's using that CRM, but he was talking to me about how he went from, he's now an ISA basically. He was an ISA, but now he's in the sales side, like where he has to actually close it. Mm-hmm. And he was talking to me, he was like, I loved qualifying leads and I loved doing that sort of thing, and I was able to set him up. I basically taught him how to just follow up with leads in his database, like send a text message, send an email, do all those things. But the concept, it translated perfectly because it was the same exact process that I was doing, which is great. I mean, it's all about follow up, right? And just teeing people up. But it was crazy to see it transition from just different industries.
We talk about that, like whether it's the clicking part or the closing part or the follow up, the follow up process or whatever that is, it translates to any sales job.
Exactly.
Like if you follow the principles that we follow and the things we teach, it doesn't matter what you're selling or what you're advertising, we could generate leads and you could generate closings from it.
Yeah, and I taught him like the DCM path of like, hey man, you send a text message, next day you come in, you send an email, you know what I mean? You send a text and an email. You do that process and you just literally follow it. Like you follow that workflow, you're gonna get a lot of results just because it's just the cadence of what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're selling, you can always adjust the language for what you're doing, but teaching him that and showing him that, it just made so much sense to him after he was able to see it written down on a piece of paper. And then looking at these big databases that we're talking about and seeing the gaps that people have and being like, wow, you just need those extra. I mean, I feel like I just look at people's databases through a different lens just because I always come from the place of I want to stop missed opportunities. So if I was a missed opportunity, where would I be in the database?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And that's how when we spoke with that team yesterday, that's what I wanted to show them is like, hey, think about your database like a ship. Think about it in the fact that it's sinking. How do we stop it from sinking? We plug all the holes. Here are your holes. This is what we have to do to stop it. And this is where we can come in and fix those holes and just constantly keep fixing those holes. You know what I mean? Until there's no more, right? So
I mean, something like DCM could work in any industry. Whether real estate, mortgage, solar panels, roofing.
Solar. Door to door.
Whatever it is.
I never did door to door. I'd have been terrified. Did you ever do door to door?
No, but I'm going to start shooting people with a BB gun that keep coming to my house.
Do you get door to door sales?
Oh, dude, it's crazy.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever answered it? Like, has anybody ever sold you door to door?
No. I'm usually not there, but I see it on my ring camera. Like yesterday, there was 2 guys that came. They were either representing Nikki Haley or they were selling roofing.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I think it was probably roofing because there was a it always happens when somebody else around you, they do the roof, right? They knock on the, did you see we did the roof? We found hail damage. You know, you get your roof covered with insurance. But yeah.
You're like, I need that insurance check. Like,
yeah.
No, see, that's crazy. I never did door-to-door sales. I have a lot of buddies that did.
My first job was door-to-door.
Oh, so you have done door-to-door?
Well, I was 13, but yeah.
Wait, doing what? What were you selling?
Selling newspapers.
Newspapers? Oh my gosh.
Newspaper subscriptions, yeah.
My buddy started a door-to-door pest control company,
Yeah.
and he crushes it. You know what I mean? Like his team is like, I don't know, like
Oh yeah, door knocking works. I mean, it's it's one of those things that you have to knock on a lot of doors, but it definitely works.
No, it does work, and that was why I went the call center route. I mean, that's also why it kind of translates into being an ISA. I took a lot of incoming calls from a lot of angry people.
Yeah.
I mean, working for AT&T and DirecTV, I did that for like 6 years, and it was. Man, that was painful. That really was. Like, you talk to people. I mean, I worked Super Bowl Sunday with DirecTV, and can I tell you, when people have hundreds of people at a Super Bowl party and their DirecTV doesn't work, the things that you get called, it was the worst.
So did you do sales or customer service?
So I started with tech support
Okay.
and then transitioned into sales. That's when I traveled. So then that's when I went to Costa Rica and El Salvador and opened up call centers over there. I trained them on technical support, and then I would switch and train them on sales. I did CRG for a little bit, the customer retention. That was even worse than just technical support. But it was so interesting to see because, like, for instance, that's why when we work with the VAs, you know what I mean? A lot of the DCMs right now are out of the Philippines, but it's great because when I work with them, it just translates from when I was in Costa Rica and El Salvador. It's like they obviously, there's a language barrier and have a conversation, but they love to work. They work, man. Like, they are hard.
Oh yeah, for
working
sure.
people. It's
It's
crazy.
funny. The one yesterday, we met the new one that's an assistant for one of the. She actually used to work for the company that you did the training for.
Yeah, she goes, I used to work for this company. I was like, that is crazy. That's why I went to Costa Rica and El Salvador. I worked for that same company.
You trained. That's funny.
I trained them. It's super interesting how everything comes full circle with like call centers and that type of environment. But I mean, I literally told people when they were first looking for ISAs, just go stand outside a call center and say, would you like to make more money, and would you like to talk to more people and have a better experience? You know what I mean? Like, that's where I came from. Like, when that first position, the ISA position, opened up to me, and my mom told me to about that position, and I was like blown away. I was like, wow, this is what it's like to talk to people on the phone and not get absolutely just yelled at.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
because
crazy.
I mean, a lot of times they're registering on a website. The majority of the time, it's not a bad conversation. It's not
1%, man.
It's not like the people calling in and their cables down because the Super Bowl is not.
Can
playing.
I tell you, when someone has a hailstorm in their area and like they're like, I'm getting 771 searching for satellite signal, and I'm like, okay. They're like, well, you got to fix it. I'm like, dude, you have a storm in your area. I can't fix that.
Can't
They're
turn
like,
off the weather.
They're like, I have all these people here watching TV right now, and like, we got to watch the game. And I'm like, you're gonna have to go somewhere else, man. But I'm assuming other people don't have it either. So like, that's just what it is. Yeah, trying to explain to people that is funny, but turn it off, turn it back on again. My favorite script. Oh man, we had scripts. It was the greatest.
So the closing part.
Yep.
How many closings the last couple of years? Do the last 3 years from leads that they're handed off by you?
Yeah, so I'd say close to about 300, about over the last 3 years. You know what I mean? Just because, like, for instance, I got to the point where I was setting up opportunities, but I wouldn't even say that I would just give it to another.
So
ISA.
that translates to about 100 million in sales.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, no, I mean, what it comes
In
down
our
to,
market, in a market like some of the ones we see would be a lot more.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. You know what I mean? It got to the point where it was like I wanted to see all the other ISAs that I was training around me. Like, it was always such a competitive, like, it was competitive for me as sales, right? Being an ISA, you're competing against the person next to you. But I just wanted other ISAs around me to succeed, which is why, like, beginning when I first started doing coaching calls just like in the FUB community, right? Like, I would just, if anybody wants to hop on a Zoom, like, I was just doing a wide range of people. Like, I was just like, if you're an ISA and you want to learn more and get better, please come here, because I can't tell you how many times teams have tried the ISA position and it's failed.
So are you doing that free coaching anymore?
No. No, because you told me plenty of times not to.
Yeah.
But I will say, though, it's interesting to see, because with the ISA position, like, people would always say, oh, I did that once and it just didn't work out. So then they never want to do it again.
Yeah.
That's why I was always trying to get in front of more and more ISAs to help them get better, because it made it so much harder for me to get other ISAs over there or to coach other ISAs if that position was just going away more and more.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I mean?
sure.
So yeah, it was just, it's always fun to think about that position and like the impact you can have on teams. Like, as an ISA, a good ISA can generate you, I don't know, they can 10x their business. You know what I mean? Like, they can generate you so much money if you just put trust in them and you like empower them to do it, a lot of the times people will hire an ISA and say, I just need you to set appointments. And then they never train you what to do. They never think like, wow, maybe this guy doesn't actually know what he's doing. You know what I mean? They just say, oh, you can just make calls, smile and dial, send a bunch of texts, and people are just going to throw themselves out.
And
you
now
say, I want to buy.
Texts don't work anymore either.
Oh man, have you been watching that stuff in the Facebook community?
Yeah,
it's so
crazy.
bad. People are like, these aren't sending. I was like, I'm having a problem right now.
Yeah, for sure. It depends on how you do it.
Exactly, and the things you say. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's interesting just to see like where I started from with playing video games, working at call centers, and now being in the position I'm at now, helping other teams just look at their databases from a different view, a different point of view, and just seeing, hey, how can we stop all of this bleeding? We're spending all this money on all these leads. How much money do you think you guys have spent on leads?
My career?
Yeah.
I don't even know. A lot. So the old database, when I was at CRG and left there, obviously when I sold out of that company, I didn't pull that database, but there was probably 150,000 people in that database. Just do the, average math. I mean, I generate leads for less because I'm awesome. But just do an average of $10 a lead, so that's at 1.5 million. The database now we have at Easy Home Search is going to be over 200,000 soon. So do the same math there.
Dude, that's insane. Because and that's really where I come from whenever I meet with the team. I always tell them, I'm like, hey, listen, like to me, the ISA, if a team was going to cut cost anywhere, I always just assume the first place to go is the ISA. I always just assume they'll get rid of the ISA.
And it's, what we see and what we do, and like you're in 50 databases a week.
Yeah,
you look at the amount of leads. Those are not small databases.
No, not at all.
So we probably, just in the accounts that we manage with Chevrolet Digital between the AdWords and the DCM program, I would say there's probably 10 million, 8 million, a lot of millions.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, just the one yesterday is 1.4, so you look at the average probably database that we're in is over 100,000 or pretty close to it. Mm-hmm. So with 60, 70, 80 clients, teams, we see 8 million leads, and we're going to talk about that on the next episode.
But it's just crazy
the issues that we see in these databases.
Yeah, no, that's what we'll talk about for sure, about how people can close those things. But it's just crazy to think because, as I was saying, with me being the ISA and the ISA position being so easily let go if it's not working out, you know what I mean? It's like, how can I show the CEO, like, hey, when we send out an opportunity to an agent, if an agent doesn't close it, like, what else can I do besides come over there and close it myself? Sure. You know what I mean? So, but hey, that'll be good. I think that's what we'll talk about in the next episode and go deeper into action items and things that people can do to really take over that stuff. I appreciate you for interviewing me,
man.
Letting me just go down a rabbit hole of my
for sure.
whole history.
So where could they find us at? You got to close too.
Oh, what do you mean? Where can they find us at? Where are we on? Everywhere. We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
Just go to anywhere you get your podcast.
Go to anywhere where there would be podcasts.
Yes.
Or
and on
videos.
YouTube.
And on YouTube. We're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. You're in bright lights on YouTube.
Perfect.
We put you on with a halo.
Yep. Click the close podcast. You know what I mean? Just subscribe, like, and thumbs up.
Yeah.
Do they give reviews? Like,
I don't think
a 5-star review? Cool. Perfect.
Smash the like button.
Smash the like button.
Yeah. We'll have Noah in here. Do that next time. That's the wrong one.
That's not the closing.
No.
No, that's awesome. All right, that one.
So you could just come here for jokes too.
Oh yeah, come here for jokes. There should be quick close after hours.
No, because we're not cussing.
We're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even cuss.
No, you did good.
I'm proud of you.
Yes, I am too.
We'll do the next episode like that.
Wear the pillow shoes next time.
I will.